Diva Disturbed Friday Night Live. Why don't you come on in, sit down, have your comments be decent, don't be talking all that yang. But again, that shit is all the way love. So I'm trying to hype myself up. Oh, y'all, it's been a long week and I am stressed out. And I kept wondering, I said, I'm just starting to fall apart. And it was funny because somebody, I don't know, I just saw it, one of these psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, counselors, whatever, a mental health professional had said that sometimes after we get out of a crisis, um, things tend to fall apart on us because we've been literally holding ourselves together. And now that we're relaxed, all of that weight and stuff that we've been holding on to, it's kind of causing us to fall apart. Like today, actually for the past week, my vision has like been really blurred. And it's weird because I said I haven't felt like this since my sophomore year of college. My sophomore year of college, I got really, really sick. I remember I had constant headaches. I couldn't see very well. Um, it was bad. So I said I need to chill out. Let me get all of my stuff moved out of my current living quarters, and let me prepare to um, get restarted here in Henderson. Actually, is where I said, but Vegas, whatever. It's Clark County. Y'all know I told y'all that. I said I never really live in the main metro city wherever I moved. Like I lived in Atlanta, but I really didn't live in Atlanta. But y'all, I'm really, really tired. It has been uh, it's been a long week and it's weird. Like I told y'all the other day, I said I really, really enjoy my job. I like what I do. But sometimes it's just exhausting and frustrating because some of the things that I come across in my role, I'm just like, how come nobody caught this? Like at inception. Like, oh, people, get it together. You're just finding stuff and you're just looking like, what the hell? What? Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. But today I did have a client meeting today, which brought great joy to me. I have an 88-year-old client who's very sweet, and we are all of us on the team are very frustrated with this transition of moving her to a new financial provider because for years she was the trustee of her own trust and now she's resigned and her financial advisors are not happy about it, but she is the sweetest thing. I told her, so today she shared with me that her oldest granddaughter is getting married and in November. I said, oh my God, that's your birthday month. And she goes, how do you know that's my birthday month? I said, I got all your info, girl. We got all your info. But she was so delightful, and I learned so much about her in that conversation. I took one of my what we call admins with me, and because I'm trying to make sure. One of the things I try to do in my role is make sure that those that are in assistant role can also be pulled up and become higher and become what I am, if not something else. Okay. So, anyways, I don't know if Means for You is has joined or if she went to sleep because honestly I need to go to sleep because tomorrow is going to be a grueling day for me. I am going to move the majority of my stuff out. My last day, I have to be out of here at the end of the month, so by Tuesday, no later than Tuesday at midnight. Um, but I wanted to, stay and enjoy because y'all ain't gonna have no furniture for at least like a week because I have to. My friend that was gonna help me move unfortunately got COVID, so we had to delay my stuff because we were supposed to move it this weekend, and instead it's gonna be next weekend. So if y'all don't hear from me for a while, I will have Wi-Fi, but I will just have a temporary blow-up mattress. And even then, I don't even know if I'm even going to get half of my stuff because they need, You know, when y'all work in retail bosses be making stuff hard as hell. I hate them. I hate jobs like that. That's why I tried to make sure I didn't have to do it anymore unless I was, I don't know, running my own thing. Um, let's see. What are we going to get into? I'll wait and see if Penelope or Means for You shows up. But we don't have much to cover. A lot of craziness has happened. Like I say, every day I wake up and I honestly just don't watch the news. If I don't see it on um, Instagram or Facebook, my dude though, he loved to watch CNN. I said, "You worse than my grandma watching." I remember growing up, my grandma Temple used to always watch C-SPAN. If it wasn't C-SPAN, it was the stories, soap operas. We were watching it. Now, I bet my grandma did grow up watching stories. I watched all the ABC. It wasn't until I went to live with my mom that I started watching Young and the Restless. So that's how I know Victor Newman. And then in college, I got turned on to watching. Hi, I can't read your name, but hi. He says, "Hi, mummy. Hello, sir. How are you?" But anyways, let's get into this. Um, One of the things that we see every day with our stars, public figures, entertainers, is that many of them, especially this younger generation, lack media training. When certain questions are posed, when certain things are, hello, Leonel Romero. Uh, how are you? Um, when certain questions are posed, or there's a certain decorum, excuse me, that old school Hollywood had, and that even very few entertainers have today. I would say out of everyone in the industry right now, I would say Beyonce by far is one of the most poised when it comes to talking about her personal life. If there's any drama in her life, you would never know it because she's not going to share it. Uh, there's always speculations, right? But one of the things that Hollywood is failing to do a lot with any of their entertainers is have media training and teach them how to answer questions. So this week, Mariah Carey, the diva, one of the divas. I hope you have a great day. I hope you do too, Leonel. Um, but Gayle King asked her about her baby daddy, her ex-husband, who is the father of her twins. I forgot what them babies' names is. Y'all know these stars be named Moroccan and Monroe. That's their names. And so I like how Mariah just answered the question because Gayle King wanted to know about the co-parenting aspect of her relationship with Nick Cannon, and she was like, I'm not going to speak on him because sometimes he just be in his own world. Basically, what she was telling Gayle King, we're not going to talk about him. And recently Nick Cannon came out and blamed trauma for his behavior that we've seen the past few years, where he's just spiraled into a baby making machine. He decided that he was going to be Ramses the Great and go out here and procreate with every exotic looking female he could. And I remember he also had a lupus diagnosis too. Lupus is scary because it's like a wolf in the woods. You never know when it's going to pounce out. It's always creeping. I have several friends that and family members that have lupus. There was a time when the doctor speculated I may have had lupus, but it turns out I didn't. I think overall my body was just stressed the hell out because I had a horrible manager during that time and I was whelping up. Out of nowhere, I'd gone to an allergist because we thought maybe it was something I was eating. But back to the story. But with Nick Cannon, I felt like thank you, Leonel, I appreciate you for subscribing. You too, if you're new here, please subscribe. But with Nick Cannon, I always speculated that the issue with him was that he realized his own mortality and spaced out and decided he was going to make all these children because, heaven forbid, he should lose a kidney. I also felt like he made children in case he needed donors. The more the better, the higher the probability. I could be wrong, but that was my thought on the matter. Now remember, I do have a small background, but I know enough just to be dangerous when it comes to mental health. And someone commented that they think that he got with them, got these women pregnant so he could have their placenta. And that was supposed to, I don't know what the, I haven't researched or looked up what the health benefits are for doing that, especially with somebody like lupus. But I know his lupus in particular attacks his kidneys. So there may come a time when Nick may need a kidney transplant here in the near future. But he realized, he said, I shouldn't have healed. And he said something about Mariah. And I was like, what does Mariah have to do? She has nothing to do with your dysfunction. And to this day, I'm still trying to wonder how they get together. I just don't see it. It was like a mismatched pair of shoes or socks. I just never, but I say, hey, maybe she makes him laugh. You have a great day too, Leonel. Who y'all talking about? Penelope. Penelope, I'm talking about Nick Cannon, and I'm talking about the lack of decorum and media training with these young folk in the industry right now. You know, when was, I mean, I know we didn't have social media back in the day, but it's ridiculous. People get on here and argue about men that, you know, are out here just running. They arguing over community penis, you know. But I was also talking about the fact that Nick Cannon was trying to blame trauma and his breakup with Mariah in some respects as to why he spiraled and started making babies. And I stated that I always felt like he questioned his own mortality after being diagnosed with lupus. And I also felt like he also made all those children to be donors of some sort. Because the more numbers of people that share your DNA, the higher the probability is that their kidneys or any of their organs that are transplantable will be helpful, because lupus will literally, I wouldn't say literally, but in some respects it will fry your organs. It will destroy them because of the inflammation and all of that. I remember when I was a freshman in high school, my favorite cousin, one of my favorite cousins, I shouldn't say my favorite, but one of my favorite cousins was diagnosed with lupus, and I was scared to death that she was going to die because I didn't know what the hell it was. I just know she was always in the hospital a lot, because I think she got diagnosed around when she was 19 or 20. I'll never forget, we were at my Aunt Peggy's and Uncle Alonzo's for Christmas, and Dion pretty much was confined to the bed. And she tried to rally herself and hang out with us, but at that time we didn't know. And then, you know, lupus causes arthritis. You know, it's just, it's a horrible disease to have, and that's why I'm such a big supporter of what is Zanae's last name? Zanae Burton, Tashina Arnold's younger sister. She has a nonprofit. Her and her sister partner in a nonprofit called We Win. That's for lupus. Ain't lupus curable with bee stings? I haven't heard that, but they said that somebody said the reason why, another reason why Nick Cannon was having all those children is because each woman, there's something in the placenta, I guess, the umbilical cord or whatever. There's, I guess, whatever it is there. They stem cells, I guess, can help with lupus as well. I don't know if bee stings help, but I gotta look that up. I will definitely look that up. So, but people are saying that Mariah also is a mean girl. And I laugh because I'm like, that's just Mimi. And some of y'all don't know Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey has always been that girl, that woman, that lady, that diva, okay? Um, One thing you can never ever say is that that woman cannot sing, okay? Um, she can't dance worth a damn, never has. She just got a little less movable on stage. I don't know what that's about, but I do know that she does suffer with fibromyalgia, and she's also been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She's talked about that. Oh, my bad. It's Lyme disease. Oh, Lyme disease. That's good. I wonder if Jason Corey has ever talked about that. When I mentioned Jason Corey is someone I follow here on social media and YouTube. because he has one of the larger Cane Corsos. Bruce Wayne. If you've never seen Bruce Wayne, he has Bruce Wayne and Joy Justice. But I think Bruce Wayne is like 150 pounds or something like that. But he's the sweetest, biggest baby. And that's what made me want a Cane Corso. And I was blessed enough to get basically a smaller version of Bruce Wayne because Lady Ava Marie is only 72 pounds. And I say only because her sister, who is a mutt, Willow is 100 pounds. She's a big girl. Okay. And these girls, when we're all together, they always get into bed with me and in the mornings and greet me, basically wake me up and be like, we're ready to go outside or for a walk and you need to feed us. Hi, Leonelle. Welcome back. Bee Venom Therapy was featured on the Netflix docu-series Unwell. Uh, oh, hey, Penelope. It wasn't my first dog. I've been around dogs. I've had a dog since the day I was born. I've always had smaller dogs or mid-sized dogs, but I had a roommate in my roommate in Atlanta had two chow chows. But I always thought that her youngest child, Taz, had like some Malamute Husky or something going on because he really sounded like my friend's dog now. And I was like, maybe he was Malamute and Chow Chow. But I can handle them. I can handle them. But Willow, my and I definitely wouldn't recommend them for. They are. I will say this about Cane Corsos: they are loyal. They can be easily trained, but you have to be patient with them. Thank God Ava came trained because the people in the shelter, in the animal shelter, said that they've learned that she knew commands. And so all I had to do was work with her. But that's my baby. I love her. She's a big snuggle bug. But I tell you what, don't ever try anything with me because Ava and Willow will defend me. That's why I can't wait to move so I can get my babies and I will feel safe in my home. But Willow is Rhodesian Ridgeback Boxer and German Shepherd. She's a big girl. Wait, do you speak Spanish? No, not really. I've taken Spanish. No hablo, well, un poquito. Um, I also speak a little French too, but I really am not. I would say I'm still at beginner stage, and that was part of my major in college, which is part of the reason why I changed my major. Wait, do you speak Spanish? Yeah. No, and I also why did because I said Cane Corso because in America people always butcher the name of the Italian Mastiff and they call them. You got a cane corso? I'm like, no, I have a cane corso. That's how it's pronounced. Uh, but anyway, Mariah, people be talking about how Mariah be snapping on people, but I love it because, like, she was like, I don't know her either. I love that. That's always an infamous line. But this time it was about Mooney Long, who I have a. She's interesting. She's talented with the pen, okay singer, but she got some issues too. You need media training. You can't just be out here saying whatever you feel. You ain't at the level of Mariah or Aretha Franklin. But when they asked her, I guess they did a tribute to Mariah. I don't know when this tribute happened because it probably was it MTV. But when Moody Long got up and did what was that song? It's still so hard to believe we belong together. That's it. We belong together. So she did that. And Mariah said, I didn't know she had done that song. And I was like, damn, wasn't that bad? And people were like, y'all just be letting Mariah get a pat. Hell yeah, we do. And if Mariah wants to sit up there and say that the sky is blue, the sky is pink with butterflies, goddamn it, we gonna go with that, okay? But I'm like, she ain't no worse than Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin was straight no chaser. She could cut you with a fine word at any given time. Okay? How many kids do you have? I don't have goats. I don't have any goats, and I don't have any human children. I have 2 fur babies. Actually, technically, I have 3, but yeah, that's my man's dog, and they don't want to come down here because he's an Alaskan Malamute. Anyway, no, I don't. I always say. Here's why I say that, Lionel. Don't be mad. Please don't be mad when I say that. But growing up, my great aunt who raised me, she hated when we would say kids, and I always have to catch myself. Now I will say, Miss Diva love the kids, but kids is goats, baby goats. That's what they are. And but people will refer to children as kids, and I try not to, just because that's how I was raised. But that's just me. But it does come out sometimes. Oh, by the way, we all made it to Friday. We all survived the rapture. Who the hell came up with that shit? Was that some MAGA person? I'm like, in the Bible, for you people who are Christians, as am I, don't it tell you no man knows the hour nor the day when the Son of Man will come back? I mean, for years, I think we've been living in what's it called? Tribulation. Cause this shit ain't. Yeah. And then you know what else I was thinking about today? Remember in the Old Testament, Moses and the Pharaoh. Moses versus the Pharaoh is the proxy for God, basically, is what he was doing. And he had enslaved the Jewish people, or the Jews, the Hebrews. He'd enslaved the Hebrews. And, all kinds of calamity came because he just wouldn't unharden his heart. And, I feel like maybe, just maybe, Angry Wig might be a plague. Mm-hmm. We just don't know how to get rid of him. I don't think he equates to a pharaoh, but I do think he might be one of the plagues, because we had COVID in 2020. And somebody else said it too. Maybe we all really did die in the COVID, and maybe we've been left back here for the 7 years of tribulation. And in God's time, we really don't know what 7 years is. It could be 7 billion years. Um, but I wanted to just bring that up because I forgot to talk about it on Wednesday, because I was like, this shit's crazy. Guess how many children you have? How many children do you have? Um, I'm still here, here, here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, let me stop. But yeah, I don't think Mariah is a mean girl. I think that Mariah was not impressed, maybe, with Mooney Long's version. He has 4 children, cuatro. All right. Cuatro, no. Cuatro niños? See? Yeah. But, anyways, I need to look up this story. I forgot to pull it up. But did y'all hear that Elon's daddy been accused of some sexual assaults? But I remember a story came out about Elon Musk's daddy marrying his step granddaughter, or messing around with his step granddaughter. I said, this family look. I mean, hell, they all look kind of inbred, but I mean, step or not, those stories were. Oh no, but somebody just, I think TMZ just posted the story about him being sued for that stuff, or more accusations came out. I was like, I'm not surprised that those accusations more are coming out. I mean, because I don't know exactly. Yeah, one day ago, Elon Musk's father accused of child sexual abuse. That's from the New York Times. Let's see. Accused of sexual abuse by 5 of his children. Oh Lord. Elon's estranged father, Earl Musk, has been accused of sexual abuse by 5 of his children, starting in 1993. This is from E! News. He's currently 79, was allegedly sexually abusing his children in both California and South Africa. Africa. No, I knew about the step grandchild, or whatever it was. Oh, stepdaughter. The docs allege that the earliest incident took place in 93, when the businessman, then 4-year-old stepdaughter, wait a minute, Jana Biz, Bezidin Hoot, allegedly told family members that he had touched her. 10 years later, she says she caught. Oh Lord, why I hate pop-ups. Um, what was it? 10 years later, she says she caught Earl sniffing her dirty underwear. According to the New York Times, as previously reported, Earl shared in 2018 that he and Janet had welcomed a child together. He says, I gotta go, I have work. Well, you have a great night at work or day at work. I'm not sure what part of the world you're in, Lionel, but thank you so much for joining the conversation. Um, and that he and Janet had welcomed a child together years after he had divorced her mother, Heidi Bizenhout. I think that's how it's supposed to be pronounced because I think they're Dutch. Most South Africans are Dutch, from what I understand. Uh, that's interesting. I'm not surprised. Family members have also accused Earl of abusing two of his daughters as well as a stepson. A stepson. Oh Lord, he had his hand all in the cookie jar. Jesus. Speaking of which, let me sidebar. So I'm still getting into the thick of Terrell Carter of Tyler Perry plays in TV shows and movie fame. His big sexy self, and he's gay, y'all. I'm so upset. I said that tall chocolate piece of chocolate milk shake bring me to his yard, okay? He gay. He don't want me. He don't want us ladies. But dude, shoot your shot. But his story, I haven't gotten to the part where it's revealed who the person is that sexually assaulted his mother at 11 years old and got her pregnant. And his mama only had one leg, y'all. Like, how are you abusing a child with only one leg who also has other health conditions going on? I think something was wrong with her kidneys, and her life expectancy was only 15. Now, I don't know how long his mother lived, but I've been listening to the audiobook. And let's just say this in general about sexual assault in families and child molestations and abuse, sexual abuse. It happens every day, and so many people are silenced by it. I think about how grateful I am that in my childhood I escaped unscathed from it, um, because it. Some people become so likable in public until when they are accused of certain things. Think R. Kelly. Um, Nobody believes it, and nobody believes you. Or when you have these big mamas or even mothers who are so attached to their sons in particular that they just don't believe you, and then they make you the problem, which is why his book is titled Problem Child. It's like we've been telling y'all that my brother, my niece, whoever, men and women, older children, it happens. I don't know why it happens. Sometimes it's because, especially with older children, sometimes it's because that's what's been done to them, and they've been demonstrating or acting out what's being done to them on younger, more vulnerable people, children. So it's very sad. And with Elon Musk, with his father Earl Musk, it's sad that the person that's supposed to protect you and raise you is also taking advantage of you and your young body. And now you got to grow up questioning what's wrong with me and why am I doing what? Why did this happen to me? And it's terrible and it's sick. So, anyways, I hope that they get him. I don't care if he's 79, 89, 99, 109. They need to put him under the jail. I don't know what they do in South Africa to criminals, but those crimes also happen in California. I think I would much rather for him to be prosecuted in South Africa. Okay? So, anyways, now we know why. Maybe he touched Elon too, and he ain't never said nothing. Maybe that's why he messed up. Maybe that's why he out here jacking himself up and making all these children to take to Mars with him. Uh, Anyways, in today's memorial, many of you will. Some of my friends were not particularly supportive of me and my support of Asata Shakur. Uh, as you know, back in the 70s, or 60s and 70s, she was an activist and became what many would consider a political prisoner. She was part of the Black Panthers, and then at one point part of the Black Liberation. Were your friends white? What? Which friends? Which friends? My friends? She did nothing wrong. I personally, Penelope, don't think. Who's are you asking if my friends were white? Why? Why? Because why? Because no, she did nothing wrong. She defended herself, and that's one of the things I hate is when someone is defending themselves against law enforcement, the ones who didn't like you supporting. Oh, girl, yeah. Or let me not even say. One thing I like about my friends, the circle, my close knit circle, is that they don't attack, like, oh my God, I can't be free. It's like, well, why? Can you explain to me why? And so I explained to her, I said, because I thank God for dash cams and, body cams now, because I have a feeling that that cop tried something and they defended themselves. He pulled them over for having a broken tail light, shit went left. I think he probably tried to do something, and then next thing you know, two of her companions are murdered by the cop or shot. It's I don't want to tread too much on it because many people don't get it. Many people don't understand others. Let me say others, and those who choose, who are skin folk, who are really not kin folk, choose to say um, that she was wrong. No, she was wrongfully prosecuted. They didn't care. All they saw was a black woman in this white man's world, as Tupac said. And as a matter of fact, Asata Shakur was Tupac's godmother. She was Afeni Shakur, one of her best friends. There was a lot of stuff going on back in the 60s and 70s with people railing against the system. Um, it's just really, but I'm glad that she's resting in peace now. New Jersey and the federal government has started revving it up again that they were going to go get her and make her, you know, face her crime like she's 78. But Castro and his successors, they ain't giving up nobody because they believe in the fact if anyone could really see it, and that's why we have a problem right now in Florida with the majority, not all, but a group of Cubans who rail against the system because they come from socialism, communism, whatever. Castro just was like, y'all not gonna come up here and take us over. What's crazy is he's racist as fucking Cuba. Uh, yeah, yeah, but he took her in because let me see why. Because I'm reading NPR's. Uh, yeah, much like Cuba supported anti-colonial and left-wing forces in Africa, Central and South America, the Cuban government saw the armed black liberation movement in the U.S. as part of a global revolutionary struggle. So, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and State Police Superintendent Patrick Callahan said they would vigorously oppose any attempt to repatriate, I hope I said that right, Shakur's remains to the U.S. Baby, she don't have to come back to the U.S. We can bury her anywhere. We can take her back to wherever she wants to. Maybe she wants to be in Cuba because they gave her asylum. Uh, in her writings over the years, Shakur has maintained she didn't shoot anyone and she had her hands in the air when she was wounded during the gunfire, I believe. More recently in her writings, becoming a rallying cry during the Black Lives Matter movement, though opponents criticized her words as being influenced by Marxist and communist ideology. She stated in her autobiography published in 1988, "It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains." And I think that's true. Um, you know, I just wish that, but you know what? We're always persecuted and prosecuted either in court or in a court of public opinion. And that is unfortunate, and no one believes us. And I still to this day will never understand how, the Black Panthers were doing exactly what they could to protect the black community and to make sure that our young people didn't go without school lunch or no school breakfast, because the best way to get your day started is with a healthy breakfast. So Many people won't understand how black people see, what some would label terrorist groups, but the truth of the matter is Black Panthers weren't out going around trying to kill other white people. Like white people come after us and lynch us. But I'm gonna get off of that. Rest in peace to her. She was 78 years old and she died free in Cuba. Uh, what else is going on, y'all? Brandy's a strange, crazy ass brother. At this point, I'm beginning to think that Ray J must be on some serious drugs, manufactured drugs, because he done came out and said that he is working with the feds to do a RICO case um, on Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner child. I mean, I do want them to go away because they offer nothing to anything but be culture vultures and procreate. The only one that said I'm not down with this was Courtney. She stayed true. I just hope those children don't grow up and be groomed by their grandma Chris. But either way, I forgot to look up exactly what this RICO claim is. I was like, technically, if you look at it, I mean, I've always called Kris Jenner the Madam of Calabasas. She pimped out her children. If you really think about it, you use one child to spark the flame. She was the catalyst. And then you just girl gets a RICO. Okay, racketeering. What they racketeering? I really want to know, aside from manufacturing children of black men, aside from Courtney. Uh, Let me see what this is. I think the reason why is because they exploited him with that sex tape. And I think um, that's why he's coming out. Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner face RICO charges. Okay. Let's see. Rated Clay. Yeah, he said he's helping the feds build a case against them, y'all. Ray J. Ugh, I wish he would. I have never cared for Ray J. And I never watched that show with Brandy and her family, but I saw some clips recently and my heart went out to her. Ray J just made a whole diss song about how he hit it first. He's no victim, Lord. Oh, Lord. He says he's working the feds to, but the R&B star gives no details on what it is he thinks. I hate these damn ad pop-ups. Stop it. Doing a, I don't know why they put pop-up ads, because we ain't gonna buy shit from it. Doing he is very strange, and he's a mama's boy too. During a recent live stream circulated on X, the singer claimed the federal RICO I'm about to drop on Kris and Kim is about to be crazy. I'm talking about I'm on the news every day. I'm gonna say a lot of shit. Okay. An ad blocker. Hey, an ad. Oh, okay. I don't know how to do that on my MacBook. I'll figure it out. Oh Lord, William Shatner done suffered a medical emergency. Lord, we can't take him. Oh Jesus, no. He old though. He went on to claim anybody that is cool with Kim, they need to tell her now. The feds is coming. There is nothing I can do about it, before adding, it's worse than Diddy. Okay. For context, RICO stands for Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. Ray J has not provided any evidence, and so far there's nothing to substantiate his claim. I mean, maybe you can sue them, for sexual worse than Dick Child. Uh, Lord, he ain't right in the head. But something happened recently. I'm not going to even spend too much time on Ray J, but baby, you need to just go quiet and just go in a corner and do whatever to sell your electronics and help out some up and coming future Silicon Valley executive. Okay, do something with your life. So let's see who else we want to talk about. Cardi B. No, wait a minute. Let's talk about Serena Williams. Have y'all seen Serena Williams yet? I can't wait till I learn how to set my stuff up so I can post pictures and do, like I'm in a newscast. But either way, have y'all seen Serena Williams lately? First of all, this is not to criticize, but I'm concerned. Okay. She posted a picture of herself posing in front of a Gucci sign. Maybe it was during Fashion Week or whatever. But she also is a spokesperson for a GLP-1 company known as RO, where her husband is an investor and sits on the board. And she says that she was trying to lose them 31 pounds she gained after having two children. But I'm like, Serena, maybe it helped for a little bit, but I think you need to stop. Because I don't know how to describe it. Some people really do need GLP-1s, to help them with weight loss to prevent or, stop diabetes from progressing worse or reversing diabetes, because that's really what it's for, or initially was. But then there's one for weight loss too, as a preventative, right? Because I think there's two different versions. Like one of my coworkers shared that he's on Manjaro, because he tried Ozempic and ended up having exactly one of the side effects that people complain about with Ozempic, and that is the stomach paralysis. But to Serena Williams, who will never see this, I mean, she could, you're beautiful, and we always thought you and your sister were beautiful. Beautiful Amazonian women who showed the world that you can knock down doors and rackets and take over courts. You know, Arthur Ashe, God may he rest in peace. Uh, Girl, if I could lose 31 pounds right now, I would be so happy. I am, I think I'm getting ready to go through the change, just because I had started talking about this on other video, because for some reason I haven't had a period in almost 2 months, and no, I'm not pregnant. That's impossible. Um, but I think I'm getting ready to go through the change, because gentlemen, please don't be grossed out, but I'm just spotting. That's pretty much all it is. It feels like it's coming on, and then it doesn't come on. And then I was talking to one of my friends, and she shared with me how hers started. Uh, I what was it? She said the same thing happened to her. Like we would have these heavy flows, and when I say heavy flows, like I was so glad I was not in public. I would wake up sometimes. I have to basically go get in the shower. I'll describe it that way. And now all of a sudden, nothing. And then I wondered, I said, if it's like I said at the top of this video, if it's because I had been so stressed out for so long, then maybe my body is reacting. I'm setting up my doctor's appointments like I'm supposed to, but most people probably won't see me until December, January. Though you put yourself on the list, if you have a cancellation, I'll come. But do you have fibroids? I do have fibroids, but they're very tiny. I have five, and they're small. So there was no need to remove them or do anything. But with my cycle, I have PMDD too. Okay. So I have to take okay, I'll just share. I take Prozac, because the reason why I take Prozac is not for depression, but because my PMS period, or PMDD, it causes me to be sleepy. And when I say sleepy, I'm talking about narcoleptic like. The week before it comes on, I'm so tired. And I can't figure out why I can't go to sleep. Why I have to sleep. Like I remember on weekends sometimes I would sleep for the whole weekend. One time I nodded off at work. Finally, I went to Dr. Jackie in Atlanta, and she was like, "Oh, we can just put you on antidepressant or a low dose birth control, and that'll alleviate that." And it works. It works. But now I think I'm getting ready to go through the change, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not. I don't. And I've been having these bouts, and sometimes I do feel hot. I do feel hot, so maybe I am, but I'm gonna go find out for sure. Because I don't want a problem. But I've been checking my weight. I weigh in every day through this Omada program that I'm doing through my healthcare. Although I'm terrible about logging meals, so I'm telling you that, because I don't like how they make you do it. I'm like, I eat fruit and yogurt parfait bowls. Do I really have to plug in and take the ISBN number of all these things I'm doing? Then they have it where you take a picture, but even that's not functional. So I'm just kind of going to keep doing my thing. Um, so That's what's going on with me, and I'm bloated all the time. I was like, oh Lord Jesus, I done gained so much weight. So I was at 267 when I went, and y'all remember earlier back in July, I ended up with the flu, or early August, late July, I ended up with the flu. So when they weigh you in, I was like 267. No wonder my clothes are fitting so horribly. But now I'm at 264, 263. It fluctuates every day. But if I can just get to 250 again, I think that's when I'll start just going downhill, weight just start falling out. Plus, I need to join a gym, but I'm trying to wait until I see what my first month of bills look like in my new situation with my new salary. Because I was unemployed for over a year, and so I'm starting over. And I got this job, and it's paying me nowhere near what I was making. But hey, I wasn't making anything for the past year, so something is better than nothing, right? And yeah, it might not be that bad, but I'm just not looking forward to, because people be talking about they hot and they be having night sweats. Do you go to the GI doctor, the gyno? Yeah, I just haven't had one in a year. As a matter of fact, I couldn't go to anybody for the past year. I even tried to get, what is it, Medicaid, and they told me I made too much money when I was on unemployment. No, the stomach doctor. No, I haven't been. No, 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 no. But my last primary care was, but I wasn't having problems then. I was in my usual range of about 220, 230, give or take. Uh, but anyway, Serena, and then some of my friends going, I think she looked the fuck good. Serena, I'm like, no, she don't. And then it looks like the light has died in her eyes. It's like there's no soul there. And sometimes I feel like them GLP-1s do that. Like, one of the people I follow, I know she needed to get on Ozempic to save herself, but she's lost entirely too much weight, and she just always looks sickly. And I'm like, at what point do y'all stop taking that mess? Like, at this point, y'all done reached a place where y'all should be safe. Hell, is insulin not working? Not that I mean, she does. And we were talking about that. And you know who else I saw recently, y'all? I saw Takara, the one from America's Next Top Model. It looks like she done lost some weight too, and she looks soulless. I don't know if she's doing anything, but she was talking to Carlos King, and I looked and I said, she don't look like her. She just looks sad. Her eyes look sad, and the eyes of the soul, right? And they just look sad. But Serena looked tired, like she just. And I'm like, I don't know. And if any doctor tried to prescribe that to me, I don't know if I would take it. I gotta weigh the pros and cons. But that stomach paralysis alone will not. Oh no, I'm not gonna end up in nobody's hospital. Yeah, like this one lady, she crackhead thin, and I really like her. She funny as hell, but I'm like, all of us, I mean, I don't know what the solution is, because I know hormones play a role, metabolism, all of that plays a role. But, I need to get on the Lizzo plan. Remember when Gail said Oprah had it coming out of both? Gail be talking too much about her homie. But yeah, but anyways, I'm just gonna pray for Serena. I'm all for helping your mate, your spouse, support them in their business endeavors. But let's not be a rat lab. I mean, a lab rat. Okay, just cut off sugar and processed foods. That's what I've been told. It's hard. It's hard to do. And then some days I just don't eat. I don't, and I know that's not good either, but I've always been like that. Like, I can eat breakfast, but then I can go the rest of the day and look up and realize, but then y'all know I'm also ADHD too, so hell, half time I look up, hell, the day gone. I don't know what the hell done happened. That's why I used to hate working at this. I had two companies I hated working for, because they always had meetings at the most inconvenient time. And then it wouldn't even be scheduled meetings. It would be like, oh, we need to huddle up for this. This could have been a damn memo. You could have sent an email, okay? I don't give a fuck about these TPS reports, okay? I already read the email. Cardi B. One of my sorority sisters posted something about how people are wrong for glorifying and supporting what she's done. And I saw today that Cardi B had posted about how she asked her mom to pray over her fourth child, her baby that she's carrying, because she feels like there's dark forces around her. People are like, oh, she be going to the meet. He said people touch it. I'm like, it ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I think it's Stefan. Because if it is true that he is community peen, then that means that you probably got some of them spirits from them other women he been sleeping with. Exactly. Exactly, Penelope. Then somebody was like, she ain't even divorced. I'm like, in the eyes of the law, technically she is. But like she said, the only reason her divorce has not been finalized with Offset is because he wants her to pay his taxes and give up a house, and she don't want to do that because she says she worked too hard. I really wish she had left him alone after the first accusation. And I also think that Stefan is a rebound dude. And I think that at the time it was casual and they just decided, hey, some of us get, bed buddies, okay? And sometimes things happen. She really should have never married Offset, but I also think that her relationship with Stefan is a trauma response. And yes, I do wish she would use protection. I really do. I do, but I mean, it's her life. She gets to live it however she wants to. She like it like that. Okay, I gotta listen to her new album. I gotta listen to her album. I gotta listen to Mariah's new album. I don't think it was planned at all. I really didn't want to believe she was pregnant. I thought she was playing with us, and but now we know. But let me tell y'all something. Y'all, her and them babies, they are so cute. Oh my God. I'm in love with Blossom. Can I be her godmama? Oh my God, she is a Blossom. She's just so cute. Oh my goodness. I mean, all three of her children are cute. Thank God, considering that her soon-to-be ex looks like a pet iguana. But that's besides the point. Anyway, and he from Gwinnett County. I could have told you, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. Um, Oh, another thing. One of my favorite Hollywood divas that has gone on to be with the Lord. Amen. I hope, because I hope to get to heaven and see her and my other Hollywood godmama, Diane Carroll. But Elizabeth Taylor came up today in a conversation. I was like, somebody said, did Liz Taylor, they call her Liz Taylor. I was like, she hated being called Liz Taylor, by the way. But here's what me as a big fan didn't know. I never realized Elizabeth Taylor had children. Did y'all know she had 4 children? Like, she had 4 children, okay? She had, I think, 2 children by her first husband. She had a daughter by another husband who died in a plane crash, sadly. And then she had, no, I think her first 3 children were by her first husband. And then the last child, daughter, was by a dude that her husband that died in a plane crash. I never knew that. Isn't that amazing? I just love me some Elizabeth Taylor. She seemed to be a lot of fun, and I just loved her. She was so pretty, and I used to always wonder, because if you look at her, you kind of like, maybe, just maybe, the ancestors touched you. Somebody in your bloodline might be a descendant of an ancestor. That's all I'm saying. So maybe it was okay for her to play Cleopatra. Okay, I'm just saying. But I've always loved her and admired her, especially because she was so benevolent, especially during a time when people, all these people in the industry were dying from the plague. At that time is what we thought it was, HIV, AIDS, and her and so many other artists, they didn't look away. They helped as best they could to understand and help out. So I just thought I would bring that up. In other entertainment news, did y'all see Sherry Shepherd and Cat Williams? Woo! I don't even want to get a visual on that. I don't. And don't get me wrong. So Sherry Shepherd, I guess, has had Cat Williams on her show once, maybe twice. But recently, this week, she had him on there, and she said that, well, viewers were interested in knowing, you know, why you couldn't look me in my face, because, I had on this dress where all my titties were out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh. And then she said, what they want to know why you couldn't look me in the eye. And he said something about, I tell jokes, but I'll never tell a lie. And then she said, why don't you tell them? He said, I'm not going to. He said, they're asking you, not me. That's what he said. It was something, how the question was formulated, but it was a very leading question. And ultimately, it came out that, you know, he said he had had a taste of the forbidden fruit. Y'all, Sherry Shepherd and Cat Williams, I guess, seemingly bumped uglies. I was like, oh my God. I don't want to think about that. I do have a homegirl that back in the day hung out with Cat, went out with him a few times. She said he was a very strange little man, but she had a good time with him, you know, and it was nice. Uh, but I was like, oh. And then everybody was like, Cat, is that why you wore them pants? And then if you zoom in on the pants, you're like, oh, he's a grown little man. Oh, okay. Okay. Um, Also, Maxwell, is he on GLP-1 too? I know Maxwell is older, and don't get me wrong, I love him. My favorite song is "Fortunate." I saw him recently. I was like, he's lost like seemingly a lot of weight or whatever. But I was like, is he okay? But y'all, lately, have y'all noticed that Maxwell be out here really like shaking a groove? His Caribbean ancestry is coming out, you know. And I'm just like, I never knew "Fortunate" required that much movement, Maxwell. Like, what is that about? But he's having the time of his life. He's living his best life. I've seen him twice live, and I must say, honey, it is something to see, honey. But he wasn't dancing and moving and grooving like that. He was just stand there and sing the song. Sing the song, Maxwell. Sing it. So anyway, so we talked about that, but let's get into the more critical things. Jimmy Kimmel is back on air, and guess what? Sinclair and Nexstar had to concede that our affiliate stations also going to show them too. Well, you kind of didn't have a choice because what's your number one viewing audience? Sports. It's NFL season time. If your license got pulled, you ain't gonna make no kind of marketing money whatsoever. See, honestly, if I was ABC, or I should say Disney, you now know who you're dealing with. Don't renew their license agreement. Find another station or something to play your stuff because Sinclair and I think it's Next Star. Uh, what is it? Broadcast groups Next Star and Sinclair announced they are ending their preemptions of Jimmy Kimmel. The broadcast groups, which owned a combined total of 60 ABC affiliate stations, according to their websites, both announced Friday afternoon that the show will return to airways on the affiliate station starting Friday evening. So, guess what? Everyone who has not been able to see Jimmy Kimmel can now see him tonight, late night. Okay? The company added that during preemption, it received thoughtful feedback from viewers, advertisers, and community leaders representing a wide range of perspectives. This is what I say about people who run companies. You supposed to be the smartest people in the room, but yet and still y'all don't think prospectively. You don't really do a full 360 analysis of what's going to happen. Like nobody in that whole executive. See, that's what happens. Y'all get these monolithic boards, same thinkings, and or you want to go along and get along. Oh, he the boss, so I can't say nothing. And I honestly, I'll tell y'all, that's one of the main reasons why I end up being the most hated black woman at any job. Cause this don't make no sense. Like, there are things that happen, and I'll just be like, Afia, keep your mouth closed, cause you know what's gonna happen as soon as you start talking. And I was listening to a guy who was talking about ADHD and people thinking sometimes that we're a bit clairvoyant or because we have pattern recognition. We can see things and predict outcomes with a simple analysis. It's that simple. And that's what's the craziness is. I said, if I had been this clear, I'd be like, y'all gonna take him off the air, but I'm also gonna tell you right now what's gonna happen. And what's going to happen is that number one, when it's time to renew your licensing agreements, if I was Disney, I would not renew them. Number two, you also have an audience to consider. You have a diverse audience. It is not just a MAGA audience, and you pulling Jimmy Kimmel will only isolate you from those people, and you're going to lose advertising dollars, big. You already had, and this whole thing caused someone to decide, let me go shoot at the ABC affiliate station in Sacramento. Don't go shoot them people. They ain't got nothing to do with that. They have to answer to the board, just like all the rest of us do in any organization. I'm just saying. You shouldn't be shooting at anybody. There are other ways to work out things, and it worked. So they folded. She said, "Baby, they folded, girl. They folded like that damn table on the what was that at the harbor? What was it in Birmingham with the chairs?" Mm-hmm. Every day, y'all. Every day we wake up and we're like, "Is it time to have a party?" FBI has fired agents photographed kneeling during the 2020 racial justice protest. When I tell you, when this administration and it's all said and done, America gonna be bankrupt. Saudi Arabia can just come in and buy us. Them and China, they can co-parent us at this point. So the FBI fired agents who were photographed kneeling during a racial justice protest in Washington that followed the 2020 death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police officer. Three people familiar with the matter said Friday. The Bureau last spring had reassigned the agents but has since fired them, said the people who insisted on anonymity to discuss personnel matters with the Associated Press. Like somebody, I heard somebody else say, we need to recognize and realize that this man did tell us he was going to go after all of his political enemies. Anyone who opposed the throne will be prosecuted, or they'll find something to get you on. James Comey, they came for him finally. He got indicted. And some lady, let me read who they said indicted him. I gotta wrap this up because I gotta go to bed because I gotta get up early and start moving. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about. Let's let James Comey. Oh, and I have one more topic after this. Former FBI Director James Comey was indicted by a federal grand jury on September 25th. The case against him was brought by Lindsay Halligan, a U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. Virginia, y'all just got problems because that black lady that y'all got running for governor and a MAGA lady, baby, who is her stylist? I know I'm going off the rail, but I just want to put her name is Winsome or something. I don't know what. I think she's a lieutenant governor. I ain't even gonna bother to look this sister up because she got problems. Baby, she is a stomp. She be out here stomping like what was their names? One of them died. The black sisters, Silk and Shaka. I don't know what was their name. Silk and damn, I forgot. Diamond and Silk. And one of them dead because they didn't believe COVID was real. Um, so it Diamond, yeah, Diamond and Silk, baby. She out here stopping. They said D.L. Hughley drug her for filth. Okay. He basically just said, "Baby, you can't be going out here and you ain't ran a comb through your head." I said, "Oh Lord, she do need a comb. She need a whole style team, baby." But Lindsay Halligan of Eastern District of Virginia brought this. She presented it to a grand jury. And remember what Diva always tells y'all about grand juries from the legal perspective. If the grand jury wanted to, they could indict a ham sandwich. It's that easy. The hurdle now for her to overcome is reasonable doubt. I'm like, you big dummy. So she presented the case to the grand jury herself without the signature of any career prosecutors, some of whom reportedly had concerns about the strength of the evidence. Now, Lindsay used to be one of Angry Wig's attorneys. Let that sink in. They charged him with making a false statement to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. The alleged lie that he got indicted on. The indictment claims Comey falsely testified that he had not authorized anyone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source to the media regarding an investigation. This appears to be tied to alleged leaks about the FBI's investigation of Hillary Clinton. So, Comey will be vindicated. This case does not have a leg to stand on. You're wasting tax dollars. Okay? Jesus, I tell you. But we're going to end this note. I'm going to borrow a story I saw online from. Have y'all, any of y'all ever followed Six Brown Chicks? I have been following them for years, and they always have good stuff. When I was on Twitter, I used to always read their topics. And one of the topics this week that I happened to see on Instagram, they also have an Instagram page, and it was stories of men telling why she left. Y'all get into this one. So one dude said that his secret child, baby mama, had a breakdown and told him that if he didn't come get the baby, she was going to leave the baby at the fire station. He goes and get the baby, take it home to his wife, and the wife is like, who baby this? Needless to say, he ended up getting kicked out, divorced, living in a hotel. He's a single father raising a child that he now resents because the baby and the baby mama messed up his life. Bro, if you watching this or ever see this, and this is you or any other man that has this mentality, seek help. Brother, you got a lot of trauma. Because you need to blame. See, this is the problem. Just like Nick Cannon. Yep, Penelope, no accountability. No accountability. It's everyone else is at fault except you. You, of your own volition, took your little happy self outside your marital bed, laid up with some woman, got her pregnant. Girl, yes, blaming the baby. And he said something about, I don't see any changes in my feelings towards this child. And I said, just go and drop the baby off the firehouse. Maybe, just maybe, God will bless him to get a parent like myself or someone else who will love and raise that child and give them the best life possible. Because there is nothing worse than having a physically present parent who is emotionally absent. That, you might as well be by yourself, raising yourself. Because there are some parents out there that do just enough to make sure that they don't get in trouble by the law. Or to put on appearances to make it seem like I'm a great parent when you're trash at home. But okay. Anyway, I always check out their posts whenever I can. I love it. I wanted to build that concept with some of my friends, but I could never get all of us rallied together. I was like, we could probably build something to become like the Black View or something. I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I think that's all I have for tonight. If anything else happens, hey, I am in transition. I am going to be installing my own internet. Wish me luck, because Cox Cable is crazy. First of all, they made me pay a fifth Sister Circle. Sister Circle, see, now you start a whole nother time. Sister Circle probably could have made it if they had built some sort of camaraderie between the women. It always seemed like the energy was off and like there wasn't an actual sisterly bond. It's something about the formulation that Barbara Walters created with The View. That formulation worked. Even though a lot of them have opposing views, it works. So it just always seemed like something was off. And when they I never thought that my soror Trina was a good fit either. Because I forgot who she replaced. I like Selena. Was it Selena Johnson? Was she on Sister Circle? Yeah. And then my other soror, who was a DJ in Atlanta, I forgot what her name is. Ali. Last name was Ali. But yeah, when Trina Braxton, she's an AKA now. She yeah, I just didn't feel like it was, and that's why the show actually failed. It probably really could have made it if they had actually done some team building beforehand to create some sort of chemistry. It always felt stiff and disjointed. That's how it felt. But anyways, I wanted to let y'all know. Yes, I am moving. I'm supposed to be installing my own internet because I wasn't gonna pay them $100, baby. I'm trying to hold on to my little nickels because y'all know I've been on the struggle bus. So, because they charge. I've never had anyone charge me to come out and install my internet, but they wanted to charge $100, which I'm willing to bet is a third party vendor, an independent contractor that they use, and that's why they charge you $100. Yes. But my price is locked in for the next 2 years. So wish me luck. So if y'all don't see me next week, it's because I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I done had to break down and pay somebody to come put in my internet. But I gotta go out here to the Vegas Strip and find me a casino that's gonna let me hit big with my $20 because that's all I got to spare is $20 for $100. But you know what? I had Spectrum. I've had Xfinity. I've had AT&T. They came and did it for me free of charge. I think there was like a connection fee, maybe $25. But I just went on and paid a $50 deposit because I was like, baby, y'all run my credit. Y'all gonna try to get more than $50. I'll just take my chance with $50. But anyways, thank you all who joined, those who catch it on the playback way back. If you enjoyed this conversation, please be sure to subscribe. I normally try to keep it to an hour, but I also like to make it feel like we're all just having a conversation. And that's what this is all about. A Diva Disturbed. We talk about the most disturbing things. And yeah, you should see if they can waive it. Good night. Good night. You know what? I am going to see that. But y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe out there and pray my strength as I start to move my stuff. It's not that much, but I just don't like moving anything, period, unless it's luggage for a plane trip. Anyways, have a good night.